Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your patience, and if you're new here, hello and welcome. We are just about set to kick off the restart here, officially kick off the start of the race for round 2 of the Division 2 Championship here for ISRL Esports Championship. Hello and welcome everybody, and welcome back. My name is Fallen Monkeys. Happy to be here in the commentator's booth to take us through this exciting racing action. And on the previous stream, we had our short qualifying session, business as usual. Knight is starting on pole position, but of course, no formation lap caught a lot of the drivers off guard here, as well as so some other connection issues. It seemed we jumped into the restart, and now we are just letting the drivers get their setups ready, get everything set up and ready to go before we kick off the race. And drivers, if you've got the new stream open, setups, do not forget your setups or you will have a bad time here in Mexico, especially down the long start-finish straight where running those wings might not be ideal. Even the corners may be a little less than ideal here, but we'll see how it all plays out as the time is ticking down, and we are just about set to start the formation lap, and then of course the start of the race. Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in as we officially kick off the Division 2 Championship here for round 2, and leading the formation lap is Knight. And now I can actually take the time to get this tire choice up and running. So Knight starting on the medium tires here for his first laps here on the reset. Irish New Potato on the soft tires. Do Will in third. He is on the soft tires as well. Then you've got Dark in fourth, putting on the medium tires here with Captain Blade, who's going to be starting in 5th position on those on the soft tires. Nazareth down in 6th on the softs. Demorts in 7th on the softs. Kurt Valletta in 8th. He's on the mediums. Krishna on the softs in 9th. Cruz on the hard tires, rounding out the top 10 here. Jordan in 11th on the softs. Lorenzo in 12th on the softs. VR46 Yarno is on the mediums here in 13th. Potgetter in 14th on the softs. And Calm Koala, rounding out the top 15, was able to jump in here for the race as we might have, you might have seen him, the voice of Division 3 for the moment. That stream over and done with, so Calm Koala jumping in here to act as a reserve, starting from the back of the grid on those medium tires. So let's see how that plays out, and nearly coming together with Potgetter on the formation lap. That would have been a little less than ideal here, trying to get those tires warmed up, but the leaders are approaching the line to get started here for the race. Just gotta wait for everybody else to line up, and then we can officially kick off the 5 red lights and the start of the race for 36 laps here around the Mexican Grand Prix. And this is going to be a good one here today. I am sure of it. If the battles we were seeing on the previous installment were anything to go by, this is going to be good. But here we go. The drivers are lined up, just awaiting for those 5 red lights. Up to 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights here. And the lights are off, and we are racing here in Mexico as the drivers take the charge to the long straight down turn 1. Knight looking to have a good start here, but behind it's a bit of a battling for position as the drivers head towards turn 1. As we see who is going to take which position, heading into the first corner. It's Knight and New Potato going side by side. Do Will, Captain Blade getting a fantastic start up into 4th, 3rd now, as he makes no mistake here around round 2. Do Will falling down into 4th. Having a drag race now, needs to watch out on his inside because he's got Nazareth there trying to follow along on oh my goodness, Captain Blade's path, but it looks like it's all been sorted out here. But still, side by side, nearly 3 wide as they're battling for position here early on. But Knight getting a much better start here on this restart, hanging on to the lead here for the restart here on lap 1, but who? Duwill and Captain Blade coming close together, and who was that? Somebody went off a lot. Somebody went very wide. As let's actually get the track map up, and that looks to be that appeared to be a VR46 Yarno possibly, or Com Koala, who's out of this race very quickly on. That's got a yellow flag, as I completely missed that. So that is Com Koala out of this race. His lap here, right on the as a reserve, is not doing too well here for Division 2, not making it through the full lap, as my timing tables are completely bonkers now, as I just want to get to this nice battle here. Knight and Irish New Potato, I believe, are having a little bit of a battle. They're going side by side. Let's watch that. A little bit of a tank slapper from Knight as the position gets lost, and it will be Irish New Potato now leading this race, as we're starting lap 2 now, and Knight is going to be challenging back, but has got to watch out behind, because Captain Blade is a man on a mission on those soft tires, trying to make a push, trying to go for this overtake here, and you can see how close he is. But through into this technical section, not much of an overtaking opportunity here, generally speaking. But if Captain Blade can nail a couple corner exits, get the exit he needs here, going wide like that might not help in terms of possible warnings and penalties. Duwill, I thought, was going to go for a move down the inside there. Unfortunately, just was not able to close up enough. Potgetter in a bit of a similar situation further down the field, as he's chasing down the Red Bull of D Morts, but D Morts is hanging on here, albeit very close are these two drivers. And now heading down the drag race, the long start-finish straight, where we're going to see most of the overtaking here this race, I believe, especially once DRS gets activated within a span of the next lap or two. Already you're seeing drivers going for it, trying to make the other driver think they're going to go for a move, but of course it's not going to happen. Krishna, though, I think he thought about going for possibly an outside line here, find that traction. Was not meant to be here, as look at this, Duwill and Captain Blade going side by side. We're riding on board. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of contact there. Duwill going very deep, coming back on circuit, and that allowed Nazareth to essentially overtake both of them and end up in P3. A solid heads-up move from Nazareth there in these early stages to take that podium position for himself. Seeing Duwill and Captain Blade battling, both being forced wide, Nazareth just taking a slower corner, but finding the exit, finding the traction he needed on the exit, and taking both of them there before in front of their very eyes, without them even realizing until it was too late what was happening there. But now for Captain Blade, he is now finds himself with the short end of the stick, down in P5, chasing down Duwill once again, who he might not feel too happy about that overtake from Duwill, I think, given it was a little bit off track, albeit he was forced off track. They were alongside, so it is a close one here. But now a little bit further down, D-Morts came very close to Kurt Valletta. I think thought about going for an overtake, using those soft tires to his advantage, though, as Krishna got ahead of Captain Blade. Here comes D-Morts on a drag race. We've got a yellow flag a little bit further ahead or behind, as that was VR46 Yarno, who is not having a Mexican Grand Prix to remember. He's having an accident. D-Mort's got ahead of Kurt Valletta there, and now looks like that's Potgetter trying to go for an overtake. Kurt Valletta not feeling these medium tires in these early stages. They're taking much longer. Oh, and that's a half spin. That's forcing a lot of drivers to take avoiding action. The likes of Jordan, Lorenzo, just avoiding that car from Kurt Valletta. And that's Cruz going very deep, no front wing, and that is going to affect his strategy quite a bit. The safety car is definitely going to help us. I think Dark, in a possibly a separate incident, is also caught without a front wing. So thankfully with this safety car, Dark can pit, Cruz can pit, Kurt Valletta can catch back up, VR46 Yarno can catch back up, and you're seeing a lot of these drivers here that were running the soft tires pitting for a set of medium tires with this safety car, trying to get on the longer, more optimal tire strategy here. But that said, we are under safety car. Kurt Valletta taking a speeding in the pit lane penalty, but it's all for naught, as Kurt Valletta is now out of this race, and brings us down to 13 runners runners in this Grand Prix very early on here, but Knight this time around getting the run he needed, getting the start he needed, and he is in control. He is leading the race here on those medium tires here under safety car. But I will be back. Give me a quick moment here, everybody, as I just take a quick sip of water here under safety car. Gonna mute my mic as we're watching Knight heading around, leading the charge here, leading the gang of cars as everybody's catching up to the grid here under safety car on lap 5 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, still under safety car. Drivers are catching up to the grid. It's lap 5 out of 36, 13 runners left after Calm Koala having an accident through sector 2, right around this area that we just saw VR come through as he's catching up to the grid. Calm Koala unfortunately did not make it through a lap. He is out of this race, and Kurt Valletta not having the Mexican Grand Prix he was hoping for here. He is out in these early stages, retiring in the pits, and that brought our total down to 13 runners after the safety car was brought out for accidents, the likes of which we saw from Cruz. Dark, I think, got involved as well, and to clear up that debris, it did require the safety car to get the marshals safely on the track to get that cleaned up. Hopefully that will be sorted out soon so we can get back to green flag racing. But very crucially, though, if you're looking at the tire graph, from P6 all the way down to P13, they've all taken a pit stop to put on a fresh set of tires. The likes of Lorenzo and Dark putting on the white wall hard tires, looking to go very long here. 30 laps to the end of the race, so it would be an interesting call, but I'm sure with a lot of tire management, tire conservation, it could be possible. Most of which, though, but most of the other drivers, though, other than those two, have opted for the medium tires. Go a little bit long, then put a second set of soft tires on and be on that quickest tire to the end of the race. But for the top 5, they've opted to stay out on their tires, and for the likes of It's Nazareth, Captain Blade, D-Mort's Potgetter, 5-lap-old softs, I'm not too sure about that call. They're looking to snag that track position, use that quicker tire to their advantage, maybe bring it a little bit longer. Knight, though, I can understand being on the mediums. 5-lap-old mediums can still go a decent while, but we'll see how it all plays out as the safety car is coming in. We are going back to green flag racing here to start lap 7. Knight taking us around the final corner, putting on the power. Ooh, a big tank slapper from Knight. That is not going to help, and Nazareth is very quickly making a move, but Lorenzo is out of this session. But hang on a minute, Nazareth and Knight, it's a drag race. Here comes Captain Blade as well. He wants to get involved way down the inside. There's contact there. Oh my goodness, that came very close as Knight battling for position. Nazareth, though, taking the lead as they're going side by side, but Captain Blade must not be too happy in that cockpit after nearly being sent for a ride into the wall there, avoiding action, but now going for the overtake. And you gotta think Knight is he's gonna put up a fight here for sure, but I think being very generous with the amount of space he's leaving Captain Blade, possibly realizing how dangerous that could have possibly been there, trying to squeeze between those two cars. But now it's Nazareth in the lead, Captain Blade in second, Knight down to third here as what is going on here? There we go. Now we've got Knight on the screen with the likes of D-Morts on the softs chasing down the Alpine driver who is seemingly taking a little bit of extra time finding heat in those tires. With everybody being bunched up, the softs are showing their advantage here early on, but of course there is going to be some pit stops that are probably going to need to be done sooner rather than later. A little bit further down the grid, here comes Cruz now. Look at the acceleration difference with Dark going very deep, struggling around the final corner, although it is a drag race, so you can see them charging down. It's 3 wide now between these 3 drivers. Cruz, VR, and Dark all battling it out. It looks like Cruz, though, got the overtake done. He finds himself up into 9th, VR in 10th. Dark, though, getting the short end of the stick on those hard tires, down in 11th, as he's going to take much longer for the rest to get all of that heated up. But for Krishna, did not get the restart he was hoping for here, as he is way down the order, and looked like he might have had a tiny little bit of front wing damage, possibly on that Red Bull. Doesn't actually quite seem like it now that we're looking a little bit further, but gonna have to close up. A 4.3 second gap, though, is no easy feat here this early on, but possibly with the battling, it could help out. As Cruz now chasing down Jordan, maybe gonna try for a move here if he can find the acceleration. No, he can't, but maybe gonna go around the outside. Oh, you can't do an outside move here in the stadium section. Cruz thinks the same, and he is gonna slot behind Jordan, try to get the power here as best as he can on the exit. DRS will be active here for the start of this lap. Maybe not down this long start-finish straight here, as it's still going to be equal playing field, but going into on the exit of turn 3, we'll see it. Here comes Irish New Potato, making a move on Nick Potgetter. Nick Potgetter gets the inside line, though, so is able to defend on those soft tires, but now with the help of DRS, quite possibly here, or I thought we were going to see some DRS. Maybe we'll have to wait just a little bit longer. Maybe it has not activated just yet here, as it did not seem like it was the case here for a lot of the drivers opening up that flap. I thought they would, but it does not seem like it was going to happen, as we are still continuing onwards here on lap 9 out of 36. Race is absolutely trekking by here. Nazareth still in first, Captain Blade in second, Knight is in third now, doing a good job of fending off Demorts, who's in fourth, as he's trying to chase down the Alpine driver for a possible podium here, but feeling the pressure as well from Nick Potgetter, who's right behind. And now with the help of DRS, this could be very interesting. I think we're going to see a little bit of a train here start to form, but Knight on those medium tires might be missing out on some pace here. We'll see how it's all going to play out, because it could also be the soft tire runners who could be falling, as Knight, though, catching up to Captain Blade. Cruz right behind, getting an overtake done on Jordan with the help of DRS, so Cruz up into 8th. Jordan down into 9th position and feeling the pressure from VR46 Yarno, as Jordan now once again caught without any DRS, so essentially a sitting duck as he's defending to the inside line. It's gonna be close, but it will be the Williams of VR46 Yarno getting the overtake done initially. Jordan, I think, trying to keep it down the inside, but unfortunately unable to just keep that car alongside, and will be sitting in 10th position for now. Starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Dark, as VR is starting to run away a little bit already, nearly a 1 second gap between those two drivers. Duwill, though, on the other hand, if you remember from the start of the race, he was very much so up there in the field. He is down to 7th right now. He did take a pit stop with a lot of the rest of the grid under that safety car to put on a fresh set of tires, so is now charging up the field, caught in this, what I can only describe as a DRS train. Cruz right behind him, though, with a little bit of clean air. He's flying right now here around Mexico, setting a fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the medium tires, no less. So it's showing the pace of these mediums, and I think we might start seeing some of these soft tire runners maybe take a pit stop sooner rather than later. Oh no! And that was Irish New Potato with a costly mistake. Thankfully it doesn't end his race, but that could be some heavy wing damage, and that is some heavy wing damage here from Irish New Potato. Knight and Captain Blade getting caught up into another battle, as Knight now does get ahead while all that was happening. Demort's right up close behind. It looks like these soft tires are starting to fall off a little bit here on lap 10, as Knight is finding a little bit of extra pace. Irish New Potato with that wing damage is really falling down the order, but let's keep an eye out on Demorts and Potgetter here as they're battling it out. A yellow flag in sector 2 for Cruz, and Irish New Potato now getting ahead. I think that was just Cruz's car just going very slowly there there, and drivers trying to get by. But we've got a lot of battles here. There goes a pit stop. That looks to be Captain Blade, who is finally, he's had it with the soft tires. He's getting off of them. He's putting on probably another set of softs or a set of mediums here. Let's see what he decides to do. Here comes, it looked like Potgetter wanted to go for an overtake on D-Morts, and that is Cruz now out of this race, retiring in the pits, not happy with the way his race was going with that possible wing damage, and that is the end of his race. Maybe getting caught up with Irish New Potato there, as Irish is still in the pits, getting that wing change, putting on a set of medium tires. Captain Blade going for a similar strategy on the mediums, and it looks like they're no, he is back out and running, is Captain Blade, so maybe not a wing change there, but it is one for Irish New Potato, and Irish New Potato must be at this point hoping for a safety car way down the field here. He's got a long ways to catch up. So let's take a look back here at the grid. Potgetter still putting a lot of pressure here on D-Morts as they're trying to chase down Knight. But you think these soft tire runners are going to pit sooner rather than later if they're starting to feel the wear here. You don't want to get caught up in an incident. But crucially, they're all staying out. No, Nazareth is taking a pit stop here, so he's going in. But D-Morts and Potgetter are opting to stay out. So Knight, he takes the net lead of the race, right as D-Morts, though, with the help of DRS, gets ahead of him. So a short-lived lead change for Knight, as just like that, he finds himself back in second. Now with Potgetter behind, D-Morts, though, is now in the lead of the race for the Red Bull squad, but will need to take a pit stop here over the course of the next lap or two, I would think. Knight, I think, can go a little bit longer with those medium tires. So we'll see how this is all going to play out here on lap 13 out of 36 of the Grand Prix. Now Duwill is in fourth now as he's jumping up the order a tiny little bit here with that early pit stop under safety car. Finds himself right up with this group of drivers who have stayed out. So Duwill very much so could be finding himself in the net lead of this race once all of the pit stops are over and done with. But we'll see how that all plays out. Of course, if the likes of D-Mort, Knight, and Potgetter can start to build a little bit of a gap, it could be a different story. But there goes Potgetter taking a pit stop. D-Morts is staying out. Knight is staying out. So D-Morts looking to go very long here with those soft tires, taking them 13 laps. Much longer than everybody else is hoping to. Knight, though, came close, thought about going for a move now that he's got DRS on that Red Bull of D-Morts, but D-Morts still had just enough of a lead, just enough of a gap to hang on to the lead of the race. Once again, coming close, but not close enough here in this stage of the race. So still D-Morts leading, Knight in second, but if we ride on board with Knight for just a little bit here, I want to watch D-Morts coming through this section of the track, sector 2, because this could very much be a make or break section here for D-Morts. If he's still got the traction, that's great for him, but if he does not, this could make things very difficult for the Red Bull driver. Looks like he's still got a decent feel for it, but through all that, look at Duwill right behind. He's not coming close, but he's in a great position to run away with the lead with that fantastic pit stop call here under safety car. But crucially though, Knight staying out, D-Mort staying out, so this is going to be where it changes. We've got a yellow flag here for Nick Potgetter, who's trying to get back on track now. He does get back on track, but he's got no front wing. Will it bring out a safety car here? No, it will not. It's just going to show us some yellow flags. Knight and D-Morts, though, going side by side as I wanted to see that. D-Morts is starting to lose out a little bit. DRS for Knight does help, but I think those soft tires are starting to hit that cliff ever so slightly, as now Duwill chasing down D-Morts. Is he gonna go for it? No, he won't. He thought about it. He came close, but not close enough, as it's still D-Morts hanging on to second, but it feels like it's going to be a matter of when, not if Duwill is going to get by. but I think maybe losing out on the lead of the race might have been the cue D-Morts needs to take that pit stop. Maybe he was just hoping as long as he hangs on to the lead, he's going to stay out, but once he does lose out on that lead, he will take a pit stop, especially now that the longer he stays out, it could be a catastrophe for him with the grid being so close together here, this lead pack. But coming around the final corner is D-Morts, and he's staying out still. So D-Morts obviously has some strategy in that Red Bull pit wall that we're not thinking of here, choosing to stay out on the softs. Once again, going for the move on Knight, and he does get the move done on Knight. The braking is close. Knight can still keep that car there. There's contact. Oh my goodness, there was contact there between the two drivers, and that is Knight in the wall. He's coming back on track, but fell down into fourth. But now it's a two-man horse here for the lead of the race in this time now, as D-Morts is leading. Will in second, and that is... I think the stewards might end up looking into that incident. Not too sure how to feel about that one initially. It looked like they were going for the move. I didn't quite see a tank slapper here nor there. It looked like just contact was made, and possibly with the tire wear, just not a great outcome. But thankfully for Knight, he's down in fourth. Still has an intact front wing, so he's still got that full downforce. So now it's just a matter of charging back up the field, but he will still need to take that one last pit stop, and now finds himself in this secondary group of cars, leading this secondary group of cars and being pressured by the likes of Dark and Krishna, who are very close to one another. But that has essentially released D-Morts and Will to essentially have a two-car battle now here as they head towards turn one. Here comes Will. He's going to go for the move down the inside, and he does get the move done down the inside. DRS is very powerful. You can see here in this second grouping, it's Krishna getting ahead of both. He's up into fourth now. Knight hanging on to fifth. Dark, though, in sixth on those hard tires, not getting that extra speed here on the much harder compound of the hard tires. That grip not there as much as it would be on the mediums, but this is where we stand here on lap 17 out of 36. Will is now leading the race with D-Morts in second position and starting to fall back a little bit, and you can see keeping that gap relatively close to the likes of VR, but you got to think that these soft tires are going to really fall off a cliff here shortly. But of course for D-Morts, he's taken these soft tires 16 laps, so he can essentially, I would like to think, he can probably pit any time now, put on a set of medium tires, and he can take those medium tires, I would think, 20 laps relatively easily if he is hanging on to these soft tires for as long as he has. But really driving these soft tires till they explode, it seems, is D-Morts, taking them 17 laps, very much so in uncharted territory, as now you can see Dark on the hards chasing down Knight, but just didn't quite get the exit of the final corner he needed. Knight still getting that better exit, hanging on to that lead. Unfortunately, not enough room for Dark to get the overtake done in this stage. With the second bite of DRS, though, gonna charge back, but once again, similar results. Knight just having a little bit more pace. He's gonna hang on to that lead. But this is possibly the closest battle we have on track right now between the Alpine and and what I believe is the Mercedes driver of Dark. Yes, it is, now that I get a better view of that car. Can never be too certain now with all the blue dots here. But this is it's a very close battle. VR, though, now close the gap right back up to D-Morts, so that gap from 1.1, 1.2 down to 0.3 of a second. Is this going to be the cue D-Morts needs? Yes, it is. So D-Morts finally taking a pit stop here on lap 19 to start lap 19, and I think is going to be going for a set of medium tires to go to the end of this race, or he should be able to go to the end of the race, I would think, given given he has taken those soft tires, 17, 18 laps for now, is going to be coming out around P8 though, so he's going to have his work cut out for him, as he's going to have to charge up the field here and regain some of those positions. Now, here we go. We've got more yellow flags here, as I think that's Potgetter having another moment through the very challenging, twisty-turny section of Sector 2, the likes of which we're seeing the lead cars of Duwil and VR come through. You can see how challenging that is, but for Potgetter, Potgetter just has not been able to tame that corner section here, and that's been his downfall here through the entirety of the race. If I'm gonna be honest, what I'm seeing here, if Potgetter could just handle that corner section, maybe a little bit more practice, could have had a little bit of a better result. But unfortunately for Potgetter, gonna be cutting his losses here, retiring out of this race, but very crucially leaving some solid points here on the board, retiring out from P11, and that is going to be a double 0-point finish here for the likes of the Aston Martin team, as both Potgetter and Cruz out of this race. Now we've got a teammate battle here between the AlphaTauris. It's Nazareth and Jordan exchanging positions. Not too much of a battle here going on, as of course Nazareth on the younger tires, running a similar strategy to Jordan, both on the mediums, but with Nazareth on the younger tire, I think possibly team orders to let them by and let Nazareth charge up the field, try to close up to Dark, and they're both probably hoping that Dark can be stuck behind Knight for as long as possible here. Because Knight, keeping in mind the only driver remaining who has not taken a pit stop, running these medium tires a little bit longer than the rest, might be pitting for a set of soft tires at the end of the race, going to try to make the one stop work here for this track, or hoping for a safety car. But for Dark though, on those hards, definitely going to probably try to go to the end if everything can go smoothly. He's got to make it crucial to get past the Alpine driver that's ahead of him, so he can use that clean air to his advantage, try to close up to that next gap. That little tank slapper there is not going to help, as Nazareth now really closing up, and it looks like for Dark there might have been a little bit of a connection issue there for him, as yes, there is a connection issue for Dark. That is a very crucial moments here for Dark. Very unlucky here. Hopefully can get back into the race sooner rather than later. He's running so well, you would hate to lose out on that position just due to the connection issues. But now Nazareth, you can see, getting very close, still being cautious though with that Mercedes car. But I think coming through this slow portion of the section, that is where the AI controlled car is really gonna lose out, as you can see here. And that is Nazareth ahead very quickly now, up into P5. Dark falling down into 6th, and that is where we're going to be standing. Dark now does get back into the lobby very crucially. Hopefully he can take control of his car and push once again, but the damage has been done as he lost out on one position, and now finds himself in P6 with a little bit of a gap to close up now to get back to Nazareth. And speaking of Nazareth, he's closed that gap right back up to Knight. You can see Knight starting to struggle on those 20-lap-old medium tires. So for riding on board with Nazareth now, taking a look with DRS, is going to try to send one down the inside, and all Knight can do is watch as the AlphaTauri of its Nazareth just sails by and gets ahead here to go up into 4th, through into turn 1 next to the next corner section. And look at the pace difference here. Knight doing all he can here, but with that DRS, with the fresher tires, Knight is essentially just a sitting duck in this stage of the race, as he just has to sit by and watch as the much faster Nazareth gets ahead, as he's going to continue his charge to close up to the top 3. Next up is going to be Krishna, who's kind of in a land of his own here on those medium tires, running a good race, just doesn't quite have the pace to keep up to the top 2, which are Duwil and VR46 Yarno, who are having a fantastic race here at this stage, here on lap 22 out of 36, as trying to chase down VR unfortunately not having DRS, so Will doing just enough to stay out of DRS range here for this for these two cars. So it's still going to be Will in the lead, VR in second. Knight finally taking his pit stop as he's going to put on a set of soft tires and try to push to the end. Going to be running a little bit of a demort strategy here, but of course taking those mediums a little bit longer was Knight, so he only has to run these soft tires 13-14 laps to the end of the Grand Prix, so he can push them a little bit more, especially being on fresh sets of soft tires here for Knight, as he is now going to end up ahead of Dark, who is really not having a race to remember here in those running in last of the running cars here for Dark. It was such a good race for him. Well, actually, no, never mind, as it's just my timing tables being absolutely bonkers. What else is new? I got played by the timing tables once again, so never mind. Knight will be coming out in last. A little bit of a gap to close up, but still points and decent points. There's Will taking a pit stop, so this is really gonna bunch things together here, as we might see the drivers who took pit stops under the safety car, who are gonna start coming in for their second stop here, put on a set of soft tires to go to the end. VR, though, he's staying out. Krishna, he's also gonna be staying out here, as they're opting to stay out, but Nazareth, I think, is in the best position of them all, being on only 10 lap old medium tires here, so he can definitely go to the end here, as they're only going to end up going another 12 laps, and I do think taking these medium tires 12 more laps, which will bring a total up to 22 or so laps. I think it is doable with a little bit of tire management. But if we're going to see other drivers take second pit stops, this could put Nazareth in a very good position, with Will on the softs down in 6th. Going to have to overtake a few more cars here. But of course, some of them might need to take a pit stop. Demorts, though, he's only on 4 lap old, so he's definitely going to go to the end of the race here, taking those tires much longer. So he's in a great position as well, as he is trying to close that gap up. Will very quickly now making quick work of Jordan, going with the help of DRS, going up into P5 and closing that gap very quickly to Demorts here. Now, can Demorts hang on? Will he be able to fend off, as we're seeing VR and Krishna taking pit stops here? So I stand mistaken here. Will is on an absolute charge, and he is going for it here, it seems. He's only going to have to overtake Demorts, then of course close that gap up to Nazareth. But we've seen 7-second gaps be absolutely obliterated before with the tire difference. Once the tires do start to fall off a cliff, Knight is on an absolute flyer right now, as he's back up into 7th. He sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix for good measure. But we're going to start seeing these strategies start to intertwine here, as overtakes happening once again. Krishna on the softs going ahead of Captain Blade. Captain Blade putting up as much of a battle as he can, but the fresh set of softs were always going to be eking out a used set of medium tires, regardless of which track you're on. And that is the case here today with Krishna now going up into P5, and will be chasing down this next group of drivers. But they're now all stuck behind Demorts, who's running in 2nd. That's the likes of Will in 3rd, VR46 Yarno in 4th. That is the next train that we're going to see Krishna try to close up to. But the question is, will the overtakes happen? Going down the long start-finish straight, Nazareth takes his pit stops. He's going to put on a set of soft tires, so I stand mistaken. Nazareth was going to go for one last. Here comes Will, as he gets ahead of Demorts now. Demorts doing what he can on those tires, but unfortunately for Demorts, Will's pace on the softs was just that much quicker, and now Will takes the lead of the race right back, as they are catching up to Dark, who I'm not too sure if there was more connection issues for Dark. Let's see. It looks like he's still there, but from what I thought was Dark running a decent position. Maybe a bit of a spin, maybe some accidents here from Dark. I've sent him down the order because it looks like now he is officially about to be lapped here by the likes of Duwill and this lead pack of cars. So we'll see how that's going to play out. VR46 Yarno, though, a little bit more of a pressing matters. He's trying to get past D-Mort's. Going to send one down the inside of the castle, or not the castle section, the stadium section here. D-Mort's trying to hang on down the outside. That turned into the inside. But thanks to the traction, that was all VR46 Yarno needed to get the overtake done and find himself now up into P2 of this Grand Prix. D-Mort's, though, he's going to charge back with DRS. They're going to go side by side, or I thought they were, but no, D-Mort's got the overtake done just before turn 1. So it is going to be D-Mort's in the Red Bull back into second, with VR now putting a lot of pressure. Let's ride on board. Look at how close these two drivers are. But DRS is the difference here, as D-Mort's did have the second bite of the DRS cherry for this battle with between he and VR. But now VR, look at this, he's staying close right behind though. Nazareth and Captain Blade having an overtake. I've got these two battles to look for. Oh no, and there's a spin. Captain Blade going for half spin here. Watch out, getting back. There you go. He does have that awareness, getting back on track, but that was a costly mistake for Captain Blade. But let's switch back to this battle. Oh my goodness, you can throw a blanket over D-Mort's and VR, and one blanket will cover both of those cars. I think I've actually got it in my closet here, the blanket I could use, but you don't want to do that here around this section of the track. But they are close, and I think we are going to see these two cars battling for the rest of this race here, barring any moments. But for Duwill, that's exactly what Duwill wants, because Duwill can now essentially run away, build the gap that's already up to 2 seconds, 2 seconds and counting. It is closing. Oh no, and that was Dark going for a little half spin there. It almost looked like there was contact between the lead runners and Dark. I'm not too sure what that was about there, but it looks like the Mercedes of Dark just bounced. For some reason, I'm really not too sure what that was, but that car just bounced. But oh, look at this. Here we go, going down the inside. There's contact between the wheels, but it's still, through all of this, D-Mort's ahead. Oh no, this is gonna get close. They're still side by side as they come through this section. Oh, this can only end one way if they don't get it resolved. And there you go, it is resolved. VR does get ahead, but is D-Mort's gonna go for it here? He did have DRS, but unfortunately just didn't have the pace on the exit of that corner he needed. Will be staying in third, but with the help of DRS though, is D-Mort's going to be able to make a charge here. He doesn't have much ERS, he doesn't have much battery, but still a little bit more than what VR has. But the tire difference is all that matters here, as look at this, already a 1.1 second gap. D-Mort's is absolutely going to have to pump some hot laps and a half here to keep that gap steady here, as we're down to less than 10 laps to go. Lap 29 out of 36, and this race from what was a pretty dull middle section of the track, we saw the drivers just all pit for softs, and all of a sudden everything just really picked off here, and or everything really picked up, and that's what we're seeing. But unfortunately now, with everybody running a similar tire strategy, it's this is what it's going to come down to, just a pure hot lap pace. Who can close up the gaps, as they're starting to form here once again, with Duwill leading the race, VR46 Yarno now in second, and D-Mort's though still hanging onto a podium for his name here, with 6 1/3 lap to go here for the leaders. But watch as Krishna 3 seconds behind, and is probably on a charge here, as this gap is starting to close. 2.7 seconds and counting now for Krishna. He is a man on a mission, looking to go for a charge, and don't count Nazareth out of this either. You can see the little blip just in the distance, and Nazareth, very crucially, one of the few cars to not have any penalties here on track, with 6 laps to go. So if he can close this gap up, if I switch over to the penalties, look at this. Krishna 9 seconds, Demort 6 seconds, VR 15 seconds of penalties here. So this is very costly. We've got a yellow flag here coming through this section of the track. I'm not too sure what this was all about, but it looks like it got resolved here. Maybe a little bit of a tank slapper for Demorts that was bringing out that yellow flag just due to it being a slow section of the track. The gap between he and Krishna has closed up significantly, up to 1.7 seconds. And crucially, yeah, I do think it was for Demorts. No damage per se, but I think maybe just starting to feel the wear ever so slightly on those medium tires. Just not feeling them as well as he did on the softs. But now he's got bigger concerns. As Krishna, the gap is 1.1 seconds, and Krishna is on a charge. Look at how close he is now. He can see that Red Bull, and he wants to put that car ahead. He needs to put that car ahead and build a 3-second gap if he wants any chance of hanging on to that podium, or even possibly seeing a higher step of the podium here with the VR, with those 15 seconds that are going to be added to his time. This is going to make it close. We've got more of a yellow flag here coming through Sector 1. Almost looked like that was for Knight. Maybe having a little bit of a slow section here, struggling with turns 1 through 3, but no damage. Just continuing onwards here, business as usual for the drivers, as we've got now 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix, which has been very exciting at times, very dull at times, but still a fantastic race here up until now, with what is going to be a great finish, especially with Krishna now really closing up on Demorts. And look at this, coming through the corners. That is essentially all you needed here. So you gotta hand it for Demorts, trying out that one-stop strategy, and for a while it was working out pretty well for him. But unfortunately, I think what he didn't take into account was everybody else here on the grid pitting for the soft compound tires, and just having that run. And when that happens, just like that, you can have a track position all you want, but with a long back straight or a long start-finish straight like we have in Mexico, you end up a sitting duck just with how powerful DRS is here. And that's exactly the case that we're seeing with Demorts now slowly falling down the order. Krishna, though, now up into a podium position, and gonna be looking to close that, build a 3-second gap between he and Demorts to not have to worry about the car behind and focus on the car ahead, who's got 15 seconds of time. Penalties, and almost having a moment there as we rode on board with him, nearly catching that live time for VR, thankfully saving the cars. He's really making a charge on DeWill, and I think he feels if there's going to be an overtake, this is the time to do it. But DeWill is not going to make things easy. He is going to make things very difficult. And even if VR does get ahead, you can't guarantee that this that 12-second gap is going to be built. You know DeWill has been fast here around this track. He's shown that pace, and you saw VR thinking about going down the outside there. They wanted to take that ideal line, but DeWill not having any of it. He's saying, you're going to have to go down the inside and allow me to have the inside of turn 2 here. If you want that overtake done, you're going to have to work for it. And I think this might be what we're going to see here from these two drivers that are now so close to one another, putting pressure. And you know VR is trying to put a little bit of pressure on DeWill to maybe take a few corner cut penalties here to try to even out the playing field. You know that 15 seconds to 3 as the difference we're seeing here is a wide range. But if you can force DeWill to take a few more penalties, that could even out this playing field ever so slightly. But, of course, it's easier said than done now with what is 3 laps to go in this Mexican Grand Prix. It has been a great race so far and proving to be a great finish here, especially with the penalties. We might see some drivers leapfrog others here, as we've seen in the past. drivers who are prone to take more penalties, prone to cut these corners, might end up on the short end of the stick. Here comes VR though. Now he's going to go down the inside and makes work of Do Will. So the job is now half done. Do Will though, all he has to do is keep this gap within 12 seconds and he will take the victory here. Easier said than done as VR is on a charge like I mentioned, but now I think VR is really going to need a little bit of help here. We're on lap 34 out of 36, so really not all that much time to really make a gap and build a gap, but we'll keep an eye out on that because of course you've got Nazareth now who is caught right back up to D Mortz. He does have the overtake done with penalties, but you know he's going to want to get it done on track. He's going to want to charge and he's got bigger fish to fry. He's seeing Krishna ahead with 9 seconds of penalties. VR now leading with 15 seconds. He wants that podium. He wants to maybe snag that for himself here, and he is on a charge to do so, but of course he's gonna have to get ahead of D Mortz first before that can happen, and you know with DRS he's gonna go forward. It doesn't look like he's got much battery in the tank, but of course D Mortz doesn't have much for his own name either. We're starting to hit the end of the race now where drivers are really expending a lot of that battery, but here we go. He's coming close. Is he going to go for it down the inside? Yes, he will. Does he get the overtake done in time? Yes, he does. So here on lap 35 out of 36, it's Nazareth in fourth on the charge now, closing up to Krishna with D Mortz watching his positions fall once again, was running in third and now down to P5 here. But I think crucially for D Mortz, that might be where he's gonna end up. And here with the end of the race, I'm seeing an ask for tire data from Joseph Cozy here. There you go, Joseph Cozy. You've got the tire data. As you can see, just about everybody on the same tire, other than D Mortz on the mediums. But on your screen right now, you're watching Irish New Potato trying to go for an overtake on Jordan. It's a Mercedes versus AlphaTauri battle here near the end of the race, trying to close up. Jordan hanging on as much as he can. Dark once again leaving the session. He's been having connection issues through the entirety of this race, so you can't fault him for that. But on your screen, here we go. Gonna go down the outside. Can he get it slowed down in time? Yes, he does. And Jordan, I thought, was going to put up a little bit more of a fight here for that position. Unfortunately, not the case, as the leaders have started the final lap of the Grand Prix here with VR46 Jarno leading this race here on track. But I think Do Will is still in a fantastic position to maybe snag that position back. But here we go. Jordan now is closing on Irish New Potato. Is he going to get the overtake done? He's going to have to do it in the braking zone. No, he does not brake late enough. Taking a bit of an earlier braking was Jordan. Maybe with the second bite of the DRS cherry can go for the move. Is he going to try it here? He's closing. He's closing. He's closing, but no. Unfortunately, not enough here. But let's switch back to the leaders. Coming through the stadium section now is VR46 Jarno, doing exactly what he had to do on track. He will cross the line in first, but it will be the Haas of Do Will who will get the victory here in Mexico, with It's Nazareth getting second place with a clean drive here, and that looks to be where the order is going to be. VR survives, and he will get that final podium position, getting in third. Krishna close, but not close enough in fourth. D Mortz in fifth. Knight in sixth. Irish New Potato coming around the final corner now. He gets seventh position, but knocked down to eighth as Jordan gets that P7. Captain Blade crosses the line. He did jump up at least one position, and I think he's going to be getting P8. Was Captain Blade driving a clean race as far as penalties are concerned. but unfortunately, a little bit of incidents here knocked down his position. But VR getting driver of the day, and there is the podium. Do Will on the top step here. Seeing some love for D-Morts here in the chat. You love to see that. I'm seeing some comments on a tough weekend, but yep, I know it's been a tough weekend for everybody here, but we've persevered. J-Morts, I do think it's D-Morts, but J-Morts here, can't be certain. Great race, great commentary, thank you. Well, thank you, J-Morts, appreciate that. Great race indeed here, love to see that, but it is over and done with, and it is the French driver, CRL Du Will, who gets the win here. It's Nazareth in second from 6th, and VR from starting in P13, bringing that car up to P3. Fantastic drive from VR. Krishna in 4th, D-Morts rounding out the top 5 here. Knight coming in 6th. It is Jordan in 7th, right behind in 8th. Captain Blade, Irish New Potato in 9th, and Dark rounding out the top 10. Potgetter, Cruz, Lorenzo, Kurt Valletta, Com Koala. That is the rest of the order here, with the DNFs going down from Dark in 10th all the way down to Com Koala. Irish New Potato, the last of the classified drivers who will be getting points, it seems here, and that's why it pays to stick in the race. You'll get points, and that's exactly where they count here. Could be a bad race, but if you get points, all of a sudden it's not all that bad here. But there you have it. That has been the Mexican Grand Prix, and I think I'm going to try to very quickly get some post-race interviews. I'm not going to hang out too long here, given it's an absolute sauna and a half here in the comms booth right now with the heat wave we are experiencing. But if I can at least get a couple post-race interviews here for the Division 2 stream, get some thoughts here on that Mexican Grand Prix, maybe get some thoughts on the start number 1 here. So let's quickly get these invites sent off. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in the meantime. Thank you so much for watching what was a fantastic race here around the Mexican Grand Prix. As of course, personally, it's not my favorite track here on the calendar. Generally, I tend to try to avoid it whenever possible. But it seems like it's got a bit more flow here in this installment of F1 2021, and it seems like I've enjoyed it a lot more here this year than I have in previous years. And of course, for the race, it's proven to be a great race here, as we saw a lot of close battling here, and even qualifying in the previous stream, we saw how close the gaps were from everybody. And this is, of course, what we can expect to see here moving forward, especially with the Division 1 stream coming up very shortly in about 20 minutes' time. So definitely going to have to be quick with the post-race interviews. I sent the invites off. I'll give it a little bit just to see if anybody is going to jump in and give some inputs. I'll give it the time here to quickly think. But no, we actually do have our race winner, Du Will, who is in here. So, Du Will, can you hear us at all? I'll give it just a little bit, because I can't quite hear Du Will. I'll ask again, Du Will, can you hear us at all?
Yes, now I can.
Perfect. We can hear you now too. So as I get your race-winning Haas car on the screen here, just talk us through it here very quickly. What were your thoughts here after that Mexican Grand Prix?
How to say that? Not as enjoyable. I thought I would be faster than that. In practice, I was way faster than that. But at the end, I think the win is the win, so I can't complain. But yeah, I didn't enjoy myself that much.
Yep, I mean, a win is a win, like you said, and that's a solid haul of points here for the Drivers' Championship, as well as your the Haas team in the Constructors. But I know over the in the previous race, you didn't quite you had a great start on the on the start that didn't quite count, and I know you were maybe a little bit upset with the restart, but you still made it work for you. But talk us through the start of the race. Were you happy with the start you had, or were you hoping that it could have gone a little bit better for you?
Well, as I got a rocket start in the first race. Yeah, my second start I was not happy at all. I think you can ask Knight in the party. I was not happy in the first few laps of the race. I managed to calm down, to just keep it quiet, to heads down and focus on the race. But yeah, my start was a bit scrappy. Captain Blade pushed me wide several times. I even got a warning because he didn't give me enough space, but it is what it is. But yeah, I can't complain. At the end, the result is quite the same as the first start. So.
Yep. And you still made it work for you at the end of the day here, getting the win. But from P2, I believe, in race 1, a win here in race 2, really bringing you up near the top of the Drivers' Championship. Now, do you consider yourself to be a favorite here in the Division 2 Championship here in the early stages? Of course, a favorite to possibly win it all here in the Drivers.
Yeah, as I am a former Tier 1 driver, I think I have to consider myself as a favorite to get some wins and maybe the titles in Tier 2. The game suits me enough to be as fast as the top drivers in Tier 2, so yeah, I have to be in contention for the title.
There you go, definitely in contention, and I do hope to see you here in the post-race interview booth soon. But congratulations on a fantastic drive. Félicitations sur la victoire aujourd'hui. No problem. And I think on that note, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here after getting the input, the insight from Duwill, our race winner. But before I do of course want to thank our partners: Advanced Sim Racing, IMB Racewear, IFEA, and Jackson Protection Agency. Thank you so much for your support and allowing us to do what we do best here. And of course, thank you so much to you guys, the fans, for tuning in every week and watching. But don't go anywhere. In about 15 minutes time, we will have the main event. It will be Division 1's turn to take to the track here in Mexico. You're not going to want to miss that. 3 p.m. Eastern time start in about 15 minutes, like I mentioned. But until then, my name is Fallen Monkeys, and on behalf of everybody here at ISRL Esports, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys later. Have yourselves a fantastic day.